one big hell of effort that he did to bring his community here. Lisa, Daniel, Friedman, everyone. So yeah, I would like to back thanks to you guys. And yeah, I've been working on that I think for 2 months and a half, I guess, right? So yeah, a long time. Yeah, more actually. Oh, okay, sounds good. So basically, as you can see from the slide, I'm Abanoub Awny, product designer, UX researcher, mentor, you name it. And I have been doing that for 10 years. And what I actually love the most is strategy in everything, in games, in design, and whatever you do, right? And the way I see things is we have like a grand big cannon, but we're actually using it like a handgun. This is how design works these days. And if you're not incorporating a strategy into your design, that's not only your design, that's research, that's design, that's everything you do, then you might be missing out the big picture and missing out the full potential. That's not bad. If it works for you, it works for you. But for me, I was kind of anxious to have a cannon and use it like a handgun. And that's why I actually created Unblind UX, like you said, Unblind. And it's actually an international design community. Right now we have people from the States, from the Middle East, from here, Europe, of course, and now you guys, to basically, my goal was to get all these diverse people and just more about what I do. Let me tell you why I'm here today. So I'm here to talk to you about actually finding your next job using two things, the AI and the data. And it's both coming from you. And we're gonna dive into that in a couple of minutes. Don't worry about it. So before we do, let me share with you two things. First of all, you all guys look amazing right here. I mean, from where I'm standing, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. 6 steps full of people. That's amazing. You look great, and you're an amazing audience, and we're happy and lucky to have you here today. So thank you for coming, and yeah, it means a lot to us actually for you to be here today. The second thing I want to establish with you here is a story, and it's a very short story, but I want to tell it like really bad. A little over 2 years ago, I made a decision. I told my wife, "Hey, we're going to Germany." And she said, "Oh, you know the wives. They always take the advocate side at the first." And we just bagged everything that's dear to us into 3 bags. Bag for me, bag for my wife, bag for my 7-month-old daughter. Bags in. That was 2 years ago. And we traveled to Germany. And so 3 bags, 3 people, new life. And then it wasn't that anymore because the airlines lost one of our bags. And we went back to 2 bags. And that was the first thing happening to me in Germany. We kept moving between apartments. I had a full-time job. It was amazing, it was good. And then 1 year and a half later, I got laid off. And suddenly, I found myself asking the same exact question Mr. Robert De Niro has been always asking on TV. Exactly. What am I doing here? Except I'm not using the F word, right? So I found myself kind of anxious, not feeling myself, not feeling good, what was happening, and I had to figure out how to do that. I kept applying for jobs, I kept moving around, I kept trying to make things change, but it didn't. And you might say, "Hey guys, hey, we're here to talk about how to find your next like where is your struggle is actually related to that." I would say it's actually very related because it's the same story at its core. If you haven't noticed already, the economy is changing, the industry is changing, everything is changing. AI is becoming more into the hands of the consumer. consumer and the companies, it has its own good side, but it's missing out other sides. So it's not actually any way near find the next job. My idea was, it's not just a next job. I need to find a job that makes me strive, that makes me happy, that makes me good, feels good, and it just not just anymore. So with all of that, I wanted to have a strategy for me to basically find a job that wouldn't just let me have my head above the water, right, above the waves. I actually want to ride the waves, and I want to be in control of it. So forget the first title. It's not hunting your next job. It's hunting a job that makes you strive. Using our new two friends, AI and data. And this is how you, not how you do it, but how I would like to do it, and how I'm doing it. And yeah, here is the framework. It is a strategy, basically. So it's actually built from ground up, like any building, like a design system, like whatever you call it. And the first step is self-discovery, and that you need to answer yourself what makes you special, right? I mean, how many designers in the world? What makes you special? The second thing is data. And this is not data that you're going to go to ChatGPT or Google and ask them. No, this is data that you're going to gather yourself. It's about you. And you're going to track every job application that you send out. Every job application. And that's going to give you insights on how the market is doing. And if there is any kind of trends. 1 month, you might have 10 interviews. Right? So that's amazing. Another month, you might not have any. So that's a trend you need to understand. You need to understand what changed. Step number 3 is basically to match your resume on what you had learned earlier. You know, it has to be your own character on that CV or that resume, whatever you name it. You have to make it stand out. Step number 4 is to personalize the whole package on you. And it's just not writing a couple letters that says, hey, I'm excited, you know, whatever the shit is, but it's basically how to make this work. And make it again, scream your name. Here and here and here. And then do mock interviews, try to, I don't know, rehearse whatever you would like to do. And the last step is basically networking. And you might say, hey, this is again, we can hear that anywhere, but bear with me for a couple of minutes. So, I mean, Abini or any HR here would say that yes, bigger network is more opportunities. That's true. So how actually you would take that strategy or that framework and build on it or actually apply it? What is the actual thing that we're doing? The first thing is self-discovery. That's the only manual part that you're going to do ever. And that's basically you answer yourself, what are your skills, which part do you like and you enjoy doing on the job, maybe I like more research and design. And, you know, basically, what are your skills? And you gotta know yourself before you sell it, right? The second part is basically to track every job application, yes. So you can use Excel sheet, you can use like resume.io or Zetty. I'm using resume.io on my Excel sheet. And that's basically, you put every job with when you applied for it and what is the current status. And that will allow you to understand the market, spot any trends, and to pay attention if your CV is giving you the potential or the exposure that you like or not, and you can improve on that, like any iterative design process that we have learned over the years. Step number 3 is to match your CV or resume with what you have learned before. And again, that has to reflect your character. And I'm not saying like a good picture, or I'm not saying like a lot of skills. It has to be coherent, consistent. You can't say like I like research, but you put at the same time, most of your jobs is just design. It doesn't make sense. Your skills have to be related to that. You have to, but One big thing is to state your achievements. Job descriptions are all the same. If you state the numbers and what you have done during these years, that's a designer or a researcher who knows how to make things happen. Mention numbers, of course, list your skills, whatever you feel, but make your resume scream your name. Step number 4, which is the one before the last, is to personalize and rehearse. So right now you have a good character, you have a resume that tells recruiters this guy is actually good, and you have the whole package. But when it comes to cover letters and whatever you named, cover letter, motivation letter, or maybe like an email that you send to the recruiter or the hiring manager, it just doesn't have to be exactly the same like your previous resumes. So if you take that and go to ChatGPT, give her your resume, and I like to refer to it as a her because I have a ChatGPT and I call her like some specific name and I talk to her a lot using AI. It's just crazy. And give her your resume, give her the job description that you're applying for, give her the strengths points that you read through the lines into that job application, job description, and give her the examples of the project that you worked on that's related to that. And you've got a perfect cover letter. Of course, you can edit that to have a little bit of human touch on it, rather than a machine touch on it, and then, you got yourself a really nice presentation. The last thing is basically networking. And you might say, oh, again, networking, sending some people some connections, they don't care, they never reply back, but again, we're going to do it with a strategy, we're not going to do it randomly. So the good thing about AI is that if you want to create a new human being, they can do that for you virtually. So a couple of tools I know, Crystal knows, and Connect AI. These 2 tools, if you give them access to a LinkedIn and you tell them, I'm looking for this job, I'm trying to connect with this criteria about people, it's gonna give you who to talk to, what kind of message to send to. It's gonna give you an idea of how these gonna work and how active they are, and then that's it. So again, the only part that you did is the first part. That's the manual part of it. The rest is not. So so where are you at right now? Which step are you at right now? The first, the second, the third, the fifth, it doesn't really matter. What matters is how you're gonna take this, how you're gonna take the step to the next step. And that's it. There's something on my mind I forgot, as always. But that's it. So I'm gonna leave you here Unblind UX. That's a QR code for us on Instagram. Feel free to follow us on Instagram, on LinkedIn. And that's the only channels we're on right now. And we have portfolio workshop online, of course for free as always. That's gonna happen at the end of November, which we're gonna advertise at the end of October. So in 1 month, you're gonna hear from us on a big workshop. And that's it.